April 20, 1945. Berlin. Adolf Hitler walks through the Reich Chancellery Garden and greets a line of boys in uniform. Artillery is already falling near the city. The ceremony is brief, then he returns underground. The shelter beneath the Chancellery was not built for myth. It was concrete, steel doors, narrow corridors, electric light, stale air, and maps on walls. By that week, the Soviet army was closing around Berlin from the east, north, and south. German units were broken into fragments. Telephone lines failed. Reports arrived late, contradicted each other, or did not arrive at all. Hitler had moved into the bunker in January 1945. At first, it was a command post under pressure. By April, it had become the last room of a collapsing state. Secretaries typed orders. Officers carried situation maps. Outside, civilians searched for food and water in streets cut by shellfire. On April 22, a military briefing changed the atmosphere. Hitler was told that a counterattack ordered under SS General Felix Steiner had not happened. The troops needed for it were too weak, scattered, or unavailable. Witnesses later described Hitler shouting, then admitting that the war was lost. Even after that, orders continued to leave the bunker. The map became a kind of fiction. Colored lines still marked armies that could no longer move as shown. Arrows pointed toward attacks that could not be launched. Names of commanders were written beside units with little fuel, ammunition, or contact. The paper still showed a state with choices. The city above showed something else. By April 23, Hermann Göring sent a message from Bavaria. He asked whether he should assume leadership if Hitler became unable to govern. Inside the bunker, the message was treated as betrayal. Göring was stripped of his positions by order from Berlin. Then Heinrich Himmler tried to negotiate with the Western Allies through intermediaries. News of the contact reached the bunker. Hitler regarded it as another betrayal. Trust became another resource that had run out. On April 28, Hitler learned that Benito Mussolini had been captured and killed in Italy. His body had been displayed in Milan. The report gave a shape to what might happen after capture. The bunker became more focused on documents, poison, and disposal. During the night of April 28 into April 29, Hitler married Eva Braun in a small civil ceremony inside the bunker. The witnesses included Joseph Goebbels and Martin Bormann. Soon afterward, Hitler dictated his political testament and private will. Secretaries typed the pages while artillery shook Berlin. Copies were prepared for couriers ordered to carry them out. The documents named successors. They expelled Göring and Himmler from the Nazi Party. They did not change the military situation. Soviet forces were already fighting through central Berlin. The Reichstag area was under assault. The Chancellery district was nearly surrounded. Inside the bunker, people listened for shell bursts, footsteps, engines, and radios. On April 29, some residents prepared to leave. Others stayed. Cyanide capsules were distributed. Fuel was gathered in the Chancellery Garden. The practical details of death were handled like staff work. On April 30, Hitler met some members of the bunker staff for the last time. Witness accounts differ in small details, but the broad sequence is clear. In the afternoon, Hitler and Eva Braun entered his private study. The door closed. Soon afterward, those outside heard a gunshot or entered front wait. Hitler was dead. Eva Braun was dead beside him. Their bodies were carried up the stairs to the Chancellery Garden. Gasoline was poured over them. The remains were burned while Soviet shells landed nearby. The act was meant to prevent public capture and display. It also made later identification harder, which meant fragments, dental evidence, testimony, and Soviet records became central. The bunker did not end with Hitler. Joseph Goebbels became chancellor for one day. On May 1, he and his wife Magda died after their 6 children were killed in the bunker complex. That night, groups tried to break out through Berlin. Some were captured, some died in the streets. On May 2, Berlin surrendered. Soviet troops entered the Chancellery area and searched the ruins. They found burned remains, documents, uniforms, furniture, and a bunker that looked like evidence. The site later became a problem for governments that did not want it turned into a shrine. Much of it was destroyed, buried, or hidden beneath ordinary city space. Today, the final bunker is mostly absent from the surface of Berlin. A parking area and apartment blocks stand near the place where the last orders were typed. The story survives through maps, witness accounts, interrogations, dental records, typed wills, and the geography of a city rebuilt above it. The last room became a file.